Players are halfway through their warm-up. There's Roger Federer, the talented man from Switzerland, 27 and 8 this year. Just the one title to speak of, that in Sydney right at the start, and a couple of finals in Milan and Miami Masters Series where he lost to Andre Agassi. His route through, yet to drop a set, straight sets against Lopenti, Ulirak and Voinea. Starting to find his form, I think, on the clay. He struggled early on, but that's the case for players that aren't that sort of familiar with the surface. It does take them a while to bed down and find their feet.
I actually expected more of Roger Federer on the clay court season. In February, he had 2 days practice before the Davis Cup against Russia and beat both Safin and Kafelnikov, which is no mean feat. But I think, some players, they look at the overall picture, and after Miami, he would have said, my next target is Roland Garros. I want to peak for that. And, if you do well in Monte Carlo, it's another 5-6 weeks away. So I think he's looking really towards this week, and I've got a really sneaky feeling for Roger Federer today.
You're going to go with him today, aren't you?
Well, I mean, the form guide, the statistics say Gustavo Kuerten, he's the one who's won 5 Masters Series. Federer has yet to win a clay court title. But I just got a little hunch for Federer.
OK, it's a gutsy call. I'm going to totally disagree with you and go for Gustavo Kuerten, because I've been impressed with the way that he's played this week. And I think, yes, he's had this injury, but he really is starting to, I think, find his form at the best time.
I think so. I think Gustavo Kuerten, the tour needs him. I mean, he's a breath of fresh air. He looks like he really enjoys his tennis. And hasn't dropped a set en route to the quarterfinals, just like his opponent here today. So he is in good form. But Barry Cowan here going for Roger Federer, a bit of a surprise. I wonder what our commentary team thinks of Leif Shiras and Mark Petchey. Good afternoon to you. It's a day to look forward to on the centre court at the Rothenbaum Club. And I think it surprised us all, Petcher, how well Gustavo Kuerten has come back, and the way that he's sort of not put too much pressure on himself. He was asked about his dreams the other day, and he said that beautiful girls, surfing, winning events and being successful in life. I think he's achieved all those.
Yeah, there's not a bloke on the planet that would have disagreed with him with that one. Especially the beautiful girls bit. Not such a surfer myself. But certainly, no, I agree with you, Chris. Achieved everything he wanted to achieve, and I think at this stage, as he said in his press conference yesterday, getting to the semis here, it would be a big step up for him in terms of where he feels he is in his rehabilitation.
But being, his relaxed character, I think, has helped him come back as quickly as he has, because some players, as we know, are very uptight and they maybe tend to rush. But this guy listens to Bob Marley. I mean, he knows how to chill out, and he knows, when to put the expectations on and when to back off.
Yeah, definitely. I think Passos in your picture here, he's been like a father figure to Kuerten. Kuerten, there's no way he'd change away from Passos, Lundgren and Federer's coach, and I think that Passos has to take a large amount of the credit for how Kuerten deals with his disappointments, but also with the triumphs. He's very grounded.
How is that throat, Petch?
Yeah, it's not that good, but when we're working as hard as we are, Bales, and you're just swanning around, it's a little tougher, but we'll get through.
I'm sure you will do, and I'm sure everybody at home will enjoy listening to yourself and Leif Shiras.
Thanks, Chris. Roger Federer in your picture. 20 years old, currently 9th in the race. Having a solid season, Federer. Title in Sydney. As we well know, Kuerten having a fairly abbreviated season so far. But in terms of shot making, this will be a classic. Leif, who's your pick for this one?
I don't know. This is a toss-up. Both these guys are playing well. I'd probably give Kuerten the slight edge here, being the clay court king that he is. But the way Federer has been playing, I mean, he has picked up his form from Monte Carlo and Rome. He's really hitting his stride.
There's no doubt that Federer has in his game the ability to get to Kuerten.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I think he can put together some points that are going to be to his advantage. It's going to be interesting to see if he can find that find that pattern of play that's going to allow him to attack.
Also talking about the slice backhand that Federer possesses it. Something that Kuerten doesn't come across all that much on the clay. It's the ability to dig it down, get it low by Kuerten's ankles. As you can see from that point, anything up around waist and shoulder height, the Brazilian is deadly. One in Basel. Kuerten just a little slow out of the blocks here. Federer has a break point.
Federer.
Only a change up in that last point from Federer with a heavy spin on the forehand. No pace on the backhand. Kuerten breaks down again.
Yeah, good start for Federer. And Kuerten just not finding the range just yet. He started out so overpoweringly in his last match, really hitting all the corners, but this time he misfired, and I think there's an element of nerves here. Even a player of Kuerten's experience and cool just didn't look comfortable. Federer, of course, always has that ability to make the ball, and he's got so much wrist on his ground strokes.
From Senor, 15.
6'1". Federer.
See, Kuerten had geared down just a little bit. He decided that he was going to make a few balls there instead of go for something too big. So he's trying to develop his rhythm. In the meantime, Federer is winning.
You see plenty of mixture on the Federer service games as well in terms of serving and volleying.
Federer.
20-year-old flies down a couple of aces.
Federer leads 2-love.
I love service game.
I think Kuerten, these guys have never played before, so I think Kuerten is giving him some grudging respect here. A bit anxious about how to approach this match.
Again, the slice backhand, the key to that rally for Federer. He's able to get on the stretch, make life difficult for Kuerten.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Kuerten does like those high exchanges. For instance, that Guillermo Cañas was giving him, those high shots up around the shoulders. It's a little bit harder to generate pace down by your ankles. There's another one.
Well, it's almost twofold as well, isn't it? Because you've actually got to get the ball up over the high part of the net when you go down the line and put more spin on it. Therefore, it has to travel a little slow. That ball there from Federer just floating off the return.
Vincent Wright, 15.
Now there's that full flowing backhand. Kuerten's a beautiful stroke, produces it so efficiently.
Deserves a bit of luck, Kuerten.
Rights it back in 31.
Recovering well from his hip surgery that he had back in March in Nashville, same place that Magnus Norman went.
Federer at his best out of the blocks here today. What a backhand drive he possesses. Two classic players, really. It's funny to see two guys with one-handed backhands going at it. So many players produce the backhand with two hands nowadays.
And there is the double break. Couldn't possibly been a slower start for Gustavo Kuerten, and Federer a surprising 3-love leader in his opening set. Sometimes you just have to win a couple of points, a little scrappily, keep yourself on the board. It's there from Kuerten. First point he's taken on the Federer serve. Cute angle from Kuerten.
No, this wasn't an easy shot, but it certainly wasn't much of a play from Federer. Gave Kuerten an opportunity to do something with the ball. I think that was supposed to be a drop shot catch.
Vincent Wright, 15.
It's pretty tense out there. I'll go along with what you're saying, Lee, but I think he's nervous. Big forehand from Federer. Slightly tame return.
Rights it back in for deal.
This is a big point here. I mean, Federer has got the edge. He wants to continue to build on this advantage. I mean, you don't want to lose your serve here. Don't give your opponent anything to build confidence upon.
Just not there for Kuerten, and generally see him react like that. You can see how important this match is to him.
Spiel.
Wow, again. And it's a strange thing, isn't it? He's coming back from injury. He hasn't really put too much pressure on himself, Larry Passos in your picture. But then, because he's won these matches so quickly, I suppose he feels, well, actually, I'm now the favourite going into this match against Federer, whereas before he would have just been the underdog.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of psychological hoops he's jumping through right now. I think we also have to measure that element of fatigue. I mean, he hasn't played a lot. I mean, he didn't play for really 2 months. March and April.
Scintillating backhand.
Well, this is what you do when you've got your man down. You continue to go for it. Play your best tennis.
No drive save, left 30.
And looking a bit out of sorts.
No fair save, left 40.
Well, it's a different Gustavo Kuerten to the one that we saw playing yesterday against Cañas.
From center to 15.
Broken a run of 7 points for Federer, who's also had a run through this set of 8 points as well. That's how dominant the Swiss man's been. Player when the ball's up around his waist height. I think Federer just really causing him a lot of problems down low. Peter Lundgren, Sweden, great player in his own right. Good wrong footing shot and nice recovery in this game.
This is a little something he can hang his hat on. Chance to close out his first service hold. Oh, yes. Federer saying not just yet. Kuerten looked to be in control here. Just a touch of brilliance from Federer there on the
frustration, it seemed, in Kuerten's backhand pass there. By Federer.
You can see him trying to force out a little smile there.
Einstein.
25 years old, Kuerten, plenty of experience though.
Quartile Federer.
No form just at the moment. Fourth chance in this game to take a 5-love lead for Federer. Well, he is playing about as well as you could ever possibly hope so. Lundgren delighted, as I'm sure all Federer fans are. 5-love, the Swiss man leads.
From center, 15 left.
Oh yeah, and he's got a pretty good serve too. What else does he do?
Listens to music. Serves and volleys pretty well, as everybody, I'm sure, remembers at Wimbledon last year, putting out Sampras. Great positional serve this time from Federer.
I think Kuerten just wants this set to be over, the nightmare to end.
So just 20 minutes gone. Set point for Federer. It's not often you take a set 6-love off Gustavo Kuerten on a clay court. Federer only dropped 2 points on his serve, completely dominant. 6-love. Yeah, the stats, and they tell the story as well. Federer, supreme. 71% of his first serves going in. Kuerten unable to get into Federer's service games, but also for him, just not able to generate enough pace at the back of the court. There could be a number of contributing factors to that. Maybe Kuerten's a little jaded after 3 matches here, after such a long layoff. And also just a few nerves out there, perhaps sensing this is an important match for him to come through. But Federer, all credit to him.
Well, this is the type of match that could develop into a real rivalry. You know, Kuerten, the established champion, former world #1, trying to reestablish his place in the game, now being introduced to one of the great young players of our game. A very impolite introduction.
Just unable to execute on the right shot. Federer said in his press conference that he was really looking forward to playing Guga, only guy in the top 10 that he hadn't played before, and be careful if you squeak into that top 10 and he gets excited about playing you. But first you don't succeed.
Well, this chip backhand low in the middle of the court has really been confounding Kuerten. And there he decides to try something different.
Just so good at the moment from Federer. There's so much patience and control of the ball.
Yeah, and he's really taking Kuerten out of his comfort zone, making him play a lot of shots like that. I mean, that's just not where Kuerten dominates on a clay court, chipping and forced into the net. So Federer doing a lot of good things out there. They're very subtle, yet very effective.
Center field save, 1540.
2 break points, first game of the second. Doesn't seem to have as much on his serve today as well, Kuerten. Whether that's an energy thing or what, I'm not quite sure. Right shot.
I understand.
Same expressions, and I'm sure different emotions inside for the coaches. Smart pass.
Federer.
Forcing Kuerten to play the volley. The Brazilian has been found wanting again. Third break point. You can almost feel the belief draining away from him on that mid-court ball. He just basically pushed it over.
Kuerten.
Massive game for Kuerten. He wins his first game, stops the rock. And it's not just Passos who's delighted, it's the crowd.
Second set.
Federer with the new balls, love one, second set.
Sindel, 15.
Serving aces at will.
Yeah, he's just in a good rhythm.
Say that he's pretty comfortable on play. It may not be his favourite surface because he gets a lot more cheaper points with his serve and volley play on other surfaces, but he likes this.
Well, when you get a shot like that in the middle of the court, he can create.
Third signal, 49.
Well, he did not have good runs in Monte Carlo, losing to David Nalbandian, and he had a disastrous Rome, losing to Andrea Gadenzi. Federer seems to be finding a comfortable range now on the clay. Well, that one came up into the hit zone pretty comfortably.
Second set.
That's the first really wild shot from Federer in half an hour.
So now the pressure shifting somewhat. Federer with some anxious forehands there, just rushing them a bit.
Did enough for the return to make life uncomfortable for the incoming Federer. Kuerten gains himself his first break point of the match. How's that for an angle?
Well, I think this is kind of a low percentage shot, and I sense just a hint of panic about Federer's play. This is a big game for Kuerten. If he can get the breakthrough here, this could really turn the tide of this match.
He's missed it.
Kuerten looking a little more comfortable moving forward to the ball. I mean, he made plenty of errors early. This time, he just puts the ball into play and uses that good coverage at the net.
Not vintage Kuerten when he needed it.
Well, the forehand will produce a few more errors in the backhand side. He'd hit a great backhand down the line. It had the length. It looked like he was growing in rhythm.
There's the panic you were talking about, Leif. Strange shot selection by Federer. For the time being, he's finding the right shot at the right time on the break points. Still a bit of disbelief on Kuerten's face.
Kuerten.
Fourth chance. Surely he needs to take this one.
I understand.
He'll be able to. The opponent keeps finding serves like that. Federer quarter-finalists in Monte Carlo last year in the Master Series Clay. That's more like Kuerten. He's working his opponent around the court.
He's settling in nicely, and there's some evidence of it.
Brilliant. Stunning little half-volley drop shot from Kuerten. From seemingly nowhere, the Brazilian has got a 2-love lead in this second set.
You wondered whether Kuerten was going to be able to recover from such a debacle that opening set. just slowly he worked his way back in, hit some more balls into the center of the court, and allowed his confidence to grow. And what a finish on the half volley. He's not known as a volleyer, but I'll tell you, the guy works well up there, and he can convert.
His game is in disarray, and as he said this week, I'm fighting as hard as I can all the time to stay involved. Genuinely one of the nicest guys on the tour, Federer.
Yeah, it looks like it's touching, yeah, because it comes cross court.
Improving it again. Kuerten with his first ace.
Spiel, Kuerten.
And out of the carnage that was the first set for Kuerten, he's managed to find some form, some rhythm. And the Brazilian is turning the tables on Federer. Federer now serves at love 3 in the second set. Tightly strung frame does the business.
If you pay for the frame, you might as well use it.
Yeah, if they pay you for the frame in these cases.
Do you think Roger Federer pays for his rackets?
I don't think so.
Right signal, 30 left. Left, proceed.
There from both players.
Well, hopefully this match is heating up. We've seen both players playing well individually. It'd be interesting to see them both play well at the same time.
Spiel, Federer.
Second love game for Federer. He was a quarter-finalist at the French Open last year. Knows his way around the clay court. I just wonder whether the prospect of taking care of Kuerten in the quarterfinals here was just a little too much for him early on. Kuerten growing in confidence by the minute. Nicholas Kiefer there on your right.
Kiefer's probably saying, you know, I used to play at that level. I was pretty good for a while there. He's really been struggling of late.
Right signal, 30 left.
It's Federer who's struggling now.
Right from Sam, 30-15.
Kuerten's been saying this week as well that he doesn't feel as though he had to change his style of play at all. His body feels a little bit different at times, but there's no pain anymore, and the style's the same. big hitting from Federer. Easy power as well.
Yeah, he just has such tremendous racket speed. He can make the racket move quickly through the hit. Very flashy player.
Kuerten, who really seemed to be unable to generate any power on his serve in the opening set, started to clock up the aces.
It's like all the pieces are suddenly moving in unison now.
Overexuberance from Federer on that. Didn't need to be that exaggerated, the drive volley. Kuerten leads 4-1, second set.
The third successive week of tennis for Kuerten, something he hasn't done all year.
No from Sam, love it.
First double for Federer. Brian again. Delightful feel at the net from the rangy Brazilian.
I'll tell you what, Kuerten has turned this match around through some brilliant play at the net, and here is another one that's going to build on the lead he's already earned. Look at that half volley. Just a hint of the magic coming back into the fingers.
No fair save, love it.
3 break points for Kuerten. Federer capitulating at this moment. To get away with that serve volley.
And to say this match has extraordinary shifting fortunes is an understatement. Federer hasn't hit a ball on the court.
Federer this time unable to use his undoubted skills at net to dig himself out of trouble. Kuerten firing it close to the body, into the hip. Now serving for the second set. I mean, this has just been mental from Federer.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little too much thinking going on out there. But again, a big moment, prestigious event. Two of the game's top players, both of them fighting for a spot at the top of the game. Fair amount at stake here.
And the former champion showing exactly why he was once a former champion here.
Yeah, well, he's changed his tactics. You know, he's not just reliant now on the ground strokes, finishing a few at the net.
Guga wins the second set, 6-1. It's the second love service game, and we've got a real match on our hands now. 1 set all. Kuerten's cut out the majority of his unforced errors there, just the 4 in that second set, and he serves with the same percentage as Federer did in the opening first set here. But an amazing turnaround, which you can only describe as being mental on Federer's part. Really lost his way after he didn't capitalise on the first 2 games of the set, when he had the break points, up 40 love in his next service game, and then just seemed to lose his game.
And Kuerten just upped his level of play. You know, he started taking a little pace off the ground. He started putting him in the court. And then when he could, he got into the net. You know, he looked for some ways to win the point other than having to hit a winner from the back, which is where he was producing most of his errors.
3 times a French Open winner. He knows how to win on the clay. 5 Masters Series wins. There is a way. You know Kuerten will find it.
From Sinner,
2 sets in under an hour as well. Just goes to show how one-sided they both were.
And I can't tell you what's going to happen this set. I mean, there's no real clue or rhyme to what's happening here. So we'll just have to stay in here and watch this thing.
From Sinner, 15-0.
Federer on that backhand side looks a little late in his preparation, so he's not sure whether he's going to hit over it with the spin or hit the slice. A lot of options.
From Sinner, 30-15.
And when you're struggling like this, oftentimes you have to reduce the game down to its simplest points. And I think both guys have got to move their feet, think about seeing the ball early, use your legs better. And if you can, get first serves in the court, build that rhythm in the point.
With the way the other 2 sets have gone, the beginning of the set, absolutely critical. Kuerten's warmed up. Federer needs to be worried. The Brazilian with a break point.
Well, the nerves jangling just a little bit from both players.
Kuerten just hustling Federer out of the point. Worrying moments for Federer.
Serving
this game, getting Federer out of trouble. That's well played by Federer.
Tough
game to get out of, put himself in a little bit of a hole.
and a tough match to watch if you're a coach. I'm sure these coaches are saying, well, what's happening out there? You know, he was certainly hitting better in practice today. But Federer, thankfully, getting some first serves in when he was in trouble, and that bailed him out a bit.
World #1 junior Roger Federer. Yeah, starting to get closer and closer to the pinnacle in the professional game. Great hustle from Federer, starting the point well. But the king was in charge in that rally.
Again, good timely use of the volley.
Send by the 15-all.
That's the shot that unsettled Kuerten in the opening set. Starting to be able to set up the point like he wants to, Kuerten.
30-15.
Yeah, that forehand gives him plenty of time and plenty of space.
That's it by 30.
Really struggled with the ball down low, just hasn't, even though he won the second set 6-1, come to terms with it.
Drive set 30-40.
It's a big second serve by Kuerten, considering the situation. It's his second double, and Federer with a break point. Gorgeous backhand.
Well, it can be a problem when you're out of position and you play with too much pace. The ball gets back to your opponent quickly, and he's got plenty of room to hit into. I know Federer is a good athlete, but he'd have to be something special to get that one.
Shaquille O'Neal on stilts.
Good sport. That's an American sports reference. Well done, brother. I thought you were going to pull out an Ian Botham reference or something.
I know how much you Americans love cricket. I thought I'd stay away from it. Anticipation. We're waiting around for some good stuff, but that was it.
That elicits a smile from his coach. Look at where he's standing, getting this one. He's sliding into the boxes by the side of the court. Oh, that's genius. Yeah. Tennis match happened here.
Four-tie, Kuerten.
A little bit of that sparkle that he had in the first set.
Yeah, and that shows you what faith he has in his backhand. I mean, he hit a pretty bad one in the middle of the net the point before, but he went after that next one.
Quartile, Federer.
And that's where you just feel that Kuerten isn't still quite at his best. Just missing the lines.
Better decision there from Kuerten. Instead of playing so close to the lines, made sure that that forehand was well inside the sideline and the baseline.
Just when you thought that Kuerten already found his form and range and is starting to dictate the pace and the tempo of the rallies, in danger of going to break down in the third. Indeed, he does go a break down. It was a poor drop shot. Easily slid past him by Federer.
Federer feels fine there.
Yeah, that one got just a little too much air under it. Federer is going to make him pay. Beautiful stroke. Again, you saw the racket come from below the level of the ball, brushing over the top. No Swiss player has ever won this event. Federer may have just taken a big step in that direction. Up a break now in the third.
No from set.
Definitely got the feeling with this match though that it's not just going to go according to Federer's plan here. Roll towards the finishing line. Extinguish the passion that burns inside Kuerten.
Look at that return. Hit hard with angle, volleying off your toes.
Well, that's where you wonder with Federer at times. It's so easy for him, it looks so easy, but why doesn't he just let it bounce? And it would be easy. It's not easy to take a ball out of the air moving forwards. Great defense and survival instincts from Federer.
That was some good defense from Kuerten. Bird's eye view. I guess I should say a worm's eye view. Great footwork on the volley. Oftentimes volleyers have good feet. Take you into position to play the volley.
Using all the court.
Right, 34.
Now that is a measure of Federer's skill. That is not an easy shot, that low one in the service box, and he handled it so effortlessly. Still break point.
Please. Kuerten.
Twist of the tail comes a little bit earlier than expected. Passos with the passion. And Kuerten back on serve. Federer leads 2-1. New balls.
From Senor, 15.
In many ways, Kuerten looks as though he's got more energy now than he did at the start of the match. Played himself into form, Kuerten, checking the lines. Both players very close to them.
And I think he's adjusted to this play from Federer. Federer's been very effective playing the underspin backhand.
Quick to pick that up. And in many ways, the underspin backhand that he hits, it's easy for Kuerten when he's deeper on the baseline. He's got a longer distance to carry the ball. When he's up around the service line, much harder for him to generate enough spin. Didn't need to put any spin on that. He's bunted it deep down the line. With his second love service game, turns the tide and levels things up.
No from Sam, love 15.
Got a favourite at this point in the third.
I just sense that Kuerten is in a better rhythm, a little more sure about what he wants to do now, and the execution is starting to come around. Oh, that hit the line.
From Sunday, 15.
Well, the new balls do tend to carry a little bit longer through the court. Top spin just brought it down right square on.
Right side from Sam, 30,
15. Fifth ace.
From Sam, 40, 15.
He can't believe it. There's more weight on his shot now in this third set.
Right side, 40, 30.
You know, I think every player has a more natural side, whether it's your backhand or your forehand. I think Kuerten has the natural backhand, but I think on the forehand he has to think about it a little bit more. And as a result, he tends to create more unforced errors off that wing. Federer seems pretty natural on both sides.
Pure talent, that last forehand from Federer, jumping right on top of the board, jumping into a 3-2 lead in this final set. Kuerten serving into the sun, 2-3. Good pressure, first point of the game by Federer.
No concern, love 15.
A few murmurs from this good crowd that's in today. Barn Club.
That's it.
13,300 people.
You think it's in? Yep, it's touching. Yep.
A nice bit of sportsmanship from Federer. You heard him say, I think it was in. Mutual respect here today from both these guys.
These Master Series are none of the most important tournaments in the tennis calendar to the slams. A lot riding on it. Hamburgo, one of the most important in terms of history, steeped in it. Trace it all the way back to 1892. Federer could pull up a win over Kuerten here. He'd be making a little bit of history for himself.
Yeah, it's a bad game.
He's found the line. Courageous shot by Federer.
Yeah,
he's talented enough to pull it off. Break point. And there it is.
Federer.
Stayed in the rally well. Kept a good length.
Yeah, dramatic exchange from the back. Plenty of it riding on that. Kuerten just mishitting the backhand and carries over the baseline. Federer just raising his play at the key moment.
Shot selection.
Now, when you play a guy like Federer too, he's so good off both wings. You're not sure which side to hit it to. Cause problems for you off the backhand and the forehand.
He's hit that serve well. The one out wide. Kuerten's backhand on the outside over the high part of the net. Sixth ace. He's hit that one pretty well too.
set from Sam, 40-15.
Kuerten, we know, will give it 100%. Try and find a way to win. Sure if he gave that enough due care and attention, Federer.
Well, I thought it may have touched the net cord. Let's see. Nope. Just a little late getting to it. Still game point. Well, we saw this happen in the second set. He was ahead on his serve, lost the game, and really conceded the momentum to Kuerten, who continued to run out the set.
Again, the ball that stays so low troubles Kuerten. That's why he doesn't make too many visits to London for the grass. Fourth chance for Federer. Gifted is Federer. In a tournament where he hadn't won a match before in 2 previous visits, he now stands just 1 game away from a place in the semi-finals. Federer leads 5 games to 2 before the end of this classic encounter. Plenty swings in momentum throughout the course of it, but it's right firmly with Federer at the moment. Kuerten serving 2-5. Slid it wide.
No from Sam, love 15.
Well, a moment for Federer. Looks as though he got a little scared in the second set when the opportunity was there. Right now he's being donated it.
From Sunrise, 15.
Still hope for the Brazilians. With a couple of bites.
Right side back, pretty up. Right side, 30-40.
Looking for the depth. It is his trademark, but overhitting it. And after almost an hour and a half, Federer stands at match point.
Einstein
Saves the first one convincingly. What a great play.
Fourth tile, Federer.
First time today he's used the chip and charge, and he executed it perfectly.
Second match point. Oh, what a way to finish. He is something a little bit special, Federer. And about 3 shots of genius in that third set carry him through to his first ever semi-final here in Hamburg.
And the first time he's been in a semi-final on clay in a Masters Series event. This is a big step for him. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it involved a lot of heart, and he showed it. And certainly he played well on the big points, and that's what winning these big matches is all about.
Tough one for Kuerten, but he'll be back in the winner's circle pretty soon. Joy for Federer, and he'll go on to meet the winner between Julien Bouter and Max Mirny.
Barry, the first 2 sets were fairly bizarre, but it was sensational tennis really right the way through.
I thought the match was all about Roger Federer. I thought he played sublime tennis. Even at the start of the second set, he had chances to go up 2-love, and 6-love, 2-love would have been sort of dream stuff. But I thought as the match went on, although Kuerten lost the last set, I thought he got better and better, and I think it's encouraging for him. He's got to take the positives from this week, because there are many, and take that into Paris.
Just to give you an indication of how really a poor a start that was for Gustavo Kuerten, that's the first time he's ever lost a 6-love set in his professional career so far. So he did come out, and nerves were mentioned by the commentators. I think that was a part of it, because he was over-pressing early on.
The comms actually made a very good point. Maybe today he expected to win, and I think that's possibly what Kuerten was thinking. Roger Federer is a different class of player to the 3 players he played before. So he was under a bit more pressure, and I think that was probably why Kuerten came out a little slower.
Federer, right at the start, when Kuerten was dropping the ball short on his return, was on it like a flash and dominating the point straight away.
Well, Roger Federer is a very positive player, and he likes to take the initiative. And here you see him doing that. But Kuerten, when you stand 5 feet behind the baseline on a second serve, you've got to get the ball a lot deeper, and because the initiative there was with Federer.
Not often we talk about Gustavo Kuerten's backhand so much. Whenever we say when some people think it's the best in the world, but Federer, for me, backhand was the better weapon today.
Well, he's such a loose player, and he really has got all the ability. And here he just creams it. I've heard people say that he grips the racket very loosely, and that enables him to sort of play that type of shot.
So first set to Federer, 6-love, which is remarkable in itself. Second set, there was a definite change of pace as far as how hard Kuerten was hitting the ball.
Well, when you lose a set 6-love, or lose any set, you've got to look to change it. And I think Gustavo Kuerten did that. He made more balls, and basically that got him back into the match, because you've got to build up some sort of rhythm. And here it was actually, I think Roger Federer won the point, but I think it was the start of Gustavo Kuerten's change in match.
And that's experience as well, that he just got an absolute duffing. He didn't panic. He reassessed the break events, that 2-minute break that they now have, and came out with a different pattern.
Well, that's why he's been #1 in the world, and he's won the French Open 3 times, because the best players in the world do not panic. And even though he lost the first at 6-love, he would have sat down and said, OK, Roger Federer has played great tennis, but this is what I can do, and as long as I can execute it better, there's no reason why I can't get back in the match, and that's what happened.
Now, Kuerten had 15-40 in that opening service game of Kuerten in that second set, and then Kuerten had break points, and he eventually converted the break on his 5th break point.
Well, you felt that when watching this was big part of the match. Roger Federer was 40-love up on his serve, lost a little bit of concentration, but Kuerten's building up confidence here, hitting back behind Federer, which he likes to do, and people say clay courters can't volley, but there was some talent there.
Clearly a momentum swing right there. Do you feel that as a player when you're out on court you can identify, actually this one's starting to get away from me?
Sometimes it's really odd to say, but winning a set 6 love can be the worst thing, because Kuerten can only improve and Federer can only drop off. And that's what happens. But tennis is such defining, it's small margins. And if Federer had taken 1 point in the first game, the second, 1 point in the second game, he would have been 2 love up and cruising to victory. But Kuerten hung in there. And, you know, you've got to give a lot of credit to Gustavo Kuerten for executing his tennis better.
And he did ultimately, he took charge of that second set. I mean, it was, what, 6-1? I mean, and there was a total, you know, swing of fortune.
Well, that's what Gustavo Kuerten likes to do. He likes to dominate, run his opponent around. And here is exactly what happens. And again, he comes up with that drop volley. But that's for me is an encouraging sign for Gustavo Kuerten going into Paris next week, that he's having lots of points like that.
At his best, do you think, you know, Kuerten last year was, I think, 36 matches won, 2 lost on the clay. Do you think last year maybe he'd have taken care of Roger Federer? We're really talking about, you know, yes, Federer played exceptionally well, but, you know, Kuerten, because he's had this injury, wasn't at his best. With Kuerten at his best?
Gustavo Kuerten's the best clay court player in the world.
On his day?
No doubt. Ferrero, you know, we'll give him a good test. Those two are the best 2 players. But, you know, it's very tough when you've been out for so long, to your first tournament back, to come in and beat the best players in the world, because Federer's been playing all year, and mentally he's a bit tighter. The big points will count, and that's what happened in the third.
Federer's anticipation at the early stages of the third set saved him a vital point. Kuerten's got ad, and he ended up breaking in this game. But check this out. I mean, there's the talent again as well, isn't it, of that backhand?
Well, I mean, he has unbelievable anticipation, great athleticism, but not only, you know, once he gets there, he's got to have the racket skill to be able to execute it down the line. And, you know, I think Roger Federer has got everything. Possibly there's a question mark about his mental approach, but I think that will come as he matures, and once he wins that first big tournament, which he will, I think he'll go better and better.
Now, just as Kuerten broke Roger Federer in the second set, you know, Kuerten returned the favour in the third set.
Yes, this is, again, great point, and you know, Federer plays a great point again, because he's sort of down and out, having lost the second set 6-1. The initiative is with Kuerten. But, you know, Kuerten doesn't play a bad drop shot. But again, with Federer's hands, you know, he really is. He's a very good full-court player.
What stage do you think Gustavo Kuerten is? I mean, he said it would be a major sort of confidence boost if he can make it through to the semi-finals here. He's lost in the quarter-finals. You know, his next competitive match is going to be at Roland Garros. Is he ready to go?
I think if you put Gustavo Kuerten now to play one of the big guys early on in Paris, I think he would lose. But French Open, you've got 7 matches. You know, what he needs is to get through the first week. I think that's really key for Kuerten. And I think if he could get through to the quarterfinals of the French Open, I would make him favourite. 5
sets, though. I mean, he hasn't played 5 sets for quite a while. You know, I mean, is that going to play a factor? He's been off for 10 weeks with that hip injury. I mean, as far as fitness is concerned, is he going to be able to play 7 matches, best of 5 sets back to the day in between?
Well, that's a question we won't know until he's put in that position. But, you know, the tour, most of the time, apart from the Grand Slams, is best of 3, with exception of some of the finals. But I think, you know, as the tournament will go on, he'll gain the fitness. And I think a lot of the time it is mental. I think, you know, I think Mark Petchey said in commentary that he looks to be fresher in the third than he was in the first set. Well, that is down to his mental approach. And I think the more confidence you have, and he'll take a lot from this week, he'll get better and better.
Well, look, we always talk about Roger Federer's talent, and a lot of people say he's a future world #1, and if you need any evidence right here of exactly what he has in his hands, this is our last bit that we took here in the studio. And again, it's such a fluid mover, and there is, you know, that gave him break point, and then he duly converted. I mean, he did do a good job of converting his break points as well today, Roger Federer.
Well, when he hit that shot, the match was so evenly poised, and I think what you're looking for at that stage of the match is some unbelievable bit of skill and that's what Federer produced. You know, he's hit that backhand outside the tram lines, going down the line, which is the hardest shot to hit, and would have caught Kuerten unawares.
Federer made quarterfinals of the French Open last year. Can you see him going on that performance stages further?
I think he will do better than quarterfinal. Well, he can do better. A lot depends on his draw.
Because he's your man right now, Baz. I mean, you called him. I mean, I got it totally wrong, but...
Yeah, well, I had a little hunch for Federer today, and I was proved right. And I think that he is a player that's improving. I think sometimes people have to be patient with certain players. As you know, with Tim Henman, you know, he's a player who's been improving year by year, and I think Roger Federer is one of those. Similar styles, very, very talented, and I think once he wins his first tournament, he will go from strength to strength.
Would he want to meet? You know, would he have a choice of who he's going to meet in the next round, Muni or Bouter?
I don't think it really